Okay, hello MAC1105 students. This is Elizabeth Seiss, and I want to welcome you once again to MAC1105. This is the Spring B 8-week term, and I'm going to make a little video here to share with you so I can make sure that you are functioning properly within your Blackboard shell and that you are making the most of the tools that are in there so that you can be successful moving forward with this class. So here we are in the Blackboard shell, and you've already been through the Start Here menu and read the syllabus and the schedule of activities, and hopefully you printed the schedule of activities because that really has every single due date for every single assignment, the homeworks, the discussion boards, the tests that you're going to take, everything for the whole semester. So that is a very important document to have printed and saved somewhere where you can get to it quickly. Instructor information, I tried to make the names of these links that are in your Blackboard shell very self-explanatory so that if you click on this, it'll be a PDF file which you can download and save. Instructor information has, how you can contact me, my various office hours, which are printed here, and a welcome message that I had sent out to you when I opened your Blackboard shell 5 days before the class started, which I did because I was trying to ease the burden of the time constraints, because since you're in a 8-week course, you only have 6 days in order to complete each module. And so it's very, very time sensitive. You literally have to be at a time in your life where you have a nice because you have to be working at a pace of 1 to 1.5 sections per day in order to stay caught up and to be successful in a course that's moving twice as fast as a normal course. So, this kind of class is just not forgiving of time, regardless of the situations that we're going through. And I know we're all going through things right now. I know I am. And it still does not erase the fact that you have to stay caught up. And if you don't, then you start doing things like you're not watching the lecture videos. You're just jumping right into MyMathLab. And that happens when you're waiting till the last minute to do the homework. And then what happens is you don't do well on the test. And we have to protect our ability to do well on a test because your test grades count for 80% of your grade in here. So very little of it are the little individual grades that you're getting on homework or discussion boards. The majority of it is how you're doing on tests. So the right way to hit this, and in any math class, not just this online class, is to make sure that you're watching the lecture videos, which are inside the modules. And I'll just quickly show you. You're in Module 2 right now. And so when you're in Module 2, you'll see study activities, and they are exactly what they are meant to be, to prep you to get a background. Because if you're going into MyMathLab and you're just pushing view and example, you're not getting that same foundation, and then it ends up showing severely in your test grade. So you'll see that as soon as you go into the module, it'll see what sections need to be accomplished for the module, and then there's all the echo recordings. Echo recordings are the lecture on video, and you're supposed to be taking notes and getting a background, then jumping into the MyMathLab. Some students say, well, that takes too long, but then that is what every college class is. There's a lecture portion to deliver the content, and then there's doing the homework. Every math class is like that. You've just cut out the part where you're having to drive to the campus. So please try not to skip over that, because I really don't think you'll be happy with your results. Okay, so that's just in there. And then, of course, when you want to go to assessments, if I go backwards here a little bit, you can either go into the activities, which is where I just was, or when you're ready to work on MyMathLab, you can hit assessments, and that'll take you right into MyMathLab. if you've registered for the course, but everybody has at this point. They've gone in there. I provided a direct link from this Blackboard shell right into your specific section inside My Math Lab. So you did not need a course ID, but you did need a course access code. You need an access code. And that is you're purchasing the right to use the e-text and the software where you do the homework and the test. So you can get into My Math Lab this way, or I made a separate button for you right here that says you can access through the individual module assessment links, or you can enter My Math Lab right here. So that's true for every single module. One thing that I want, to be very, very clear about is that when you're taking an online course, it's extremely important to stay connected to the instructor and all the announcements that the instructor is sending out to you, because those announcements are typically associated with trying to stop you from losing points. And so I'll send out announcements to remind people, hey, there's an upcoming due dates, there's an upcoming test. If you don't attach your work and drop it off in the Dropbox when you take the test, your test grade will be cut in half. I'll try to remind you of things like that that are already printed in many places, your schedule of activities and your syllabus. But if you're forgetting, I send out those courtesy reminders. So how am I sending out the announcements? Every time I send out an announcement, you can catch them right here under announcements or homepage, because announcements are part of the homepage. I also email them to you, to your Rivermail account, and a lot of times, most of the time, I also send them to your personal email. And then as a fourth way of trying to communicate things with you that are happening in the class, I asked you as part of the Start Here menu, this is what you were supposed to do the first week of class, do all the things in the Start Here menu, do Module 1, and you were also supposed to post an introduction to the discussion board. The discussion board is part of your grade. But one of the things in the Start Here menu was joining the Remind app so that you would have access to the text messages that I send out where I say, hey, something's been posted on your announcement board. It's regarding due dates. I send it out that way. So I'll just show you what that information is real quick. I mean, you could click on this and the page would download, but I already have it over here. So I'm going to share that information with you. So if you'd like to join the Remind app, you can write this down, or you can come back and click right here, announcement board and Remind app. This was just part of the Start Here requirements, and you can do it later if you want to, but I'll just show it to you real quick. Let me go over to, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share a file with you now. Okay, so this is the information regarding the Remind app. And literally all you have to do is enter this number in your text message on your phone, text to 81010, and message me with @MAC1105I. And you'll get all the announcements that I am sending out. Okay, the other thing is I want to make sure that you're very aware of this, because most students, when they're taking MAC 1105 or higher, they need to get tutoring. They're coming in regularly. I have many students that come in during my office hours. So you need to be very aware of the fact that I have posted my office hours in many places. I put it where it says instructor information, and then there's a link that just says instructor schedule and office hours, and that's when I do my tutoring hours. I offer 10 hours a week. And here's my schedule right here. Hey, very simple to follow. On Monday, I have tutoring 11 to 12:15, 1:45 to 3. And then on Wednesday, I have it later in the day. Now, these are in-person office hours. W218 is located on main campus, and I will conduct office hours here and also in the afternoon. On Wednesday, I give them late, 4 to 6:30, and then I reserve Tuesday and Thursday for virtual office hours. Now, if my office hours don't suit you, here is another way that you can get tutoring. So let me discuss the ASC lab with you. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this file and go back to your Blackboard shell. Okay, so here we are back in your Blackboard shell. I put all the different ways that you could get tutoring together, tutoring with me. I mean, when you tap on that, you're just going to see my schedule, which I just shared with you. You could also do the Academic Support Center, which nice thing about that is you could go in person, but you can also get virtual tutoring right in the comfort of your home. So you just click on the Academic Support Center link. It'll take you to the page. Just scroll down to the bottom if you want to get virtual tutoring. If you want to get in-person tutoring, you could just go right to the campus location. There's ASC labs on every campus. But if you scroll down towards the bottom of this page, you can see all the different tutors that are available, what times they tutor. They have that off to the side here. And you can even go a little bit further down on the page and see exactly what each one tutors. But mostly all the tutors in the ASC lab tutor all kinds of math all the way up to Calculus 3. So you will definitely be covered and you'll be finding a good tutor. So if you do want to get tutored virtually, all you do is you click on the person's name. I'm not going to do that because he'll start talking to me. You just click on the person's name. That tutor will begin talking to you and they'll either say, I'm with another student at this moment, but I'll be right with you. They'll put you in separate rooms and you can share your problems with them. They'll work problems for you. They'll have their document camera set up and you'll be able to share and work together. So very, very convenient. Another way that you can get tutoring, that is also right here, is called Smart Thinking. And if you click on this link, that tutoring, so the Academic Support Center, it's open most nights until 9 p.m. I have specific office hours because they have to be weaved in between my classes and all the committees that I'm on. This runs till about 9 p.m. most nights. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But that service is paid for by the college. You only get 4 free hours, and then I can apply for more hours if you do decide you like that type of tutoring. But again, you would just click here and they would lead you through the steps for virtual tutoring. So I wanted to point that out to you so that you see how really easily accessible tutoring is when you're struggling. Because when you're taking, you know, a college algebra course or any kind of college course, the way you handle the struggle is through the use of the tutoring. Some students, you know, they still have a mentality of when they were, you know, in high school or middle school where they would just mess up for a month and not do any work and then say, can I have an extra credit? And we take that pretty seriously here. When you're in college, we must provide an equitable situation for everyone. That means the opportunities that one student has to match what everybody else has, or else it's an unfair advantage and that is considered unethical. So there is no extra credit. There are certain things I'm allowed to give extra credit for, and you'll hear about that as we move through the course, but they're very minimal because first of all, there's very little extra credit in any kind of an online class because the idea is you're taking tests and they're not even proctored. Whereas there are other people taking this same class and they're sitting in front of a teacher and being proctored for every test. So that in and of itself is something that really impacts a grade. Non-proctored student versus proctored student, much harder to get the same grade. So that's why there's almost no extra credit in an online class. And if there is anything that's allowed, I will announce it to you. as we go along. But anyway, I wanted to show you those various ways. Just make sure you're keeping your lines of communication open and that you understand that tutoring is available. Course messages, you can email me if you want to, but then we go back and forth where you're saying you don't even tell me what class you're in. Usually people just email me with a situation, but I don't know what class they're in, so I got to ask them that. And when you do it through course messages, everything from your class gets stamped. So if you say MAC1105, well, I'm teaching 3 different sections of MAC1105 and they're all on different schedules. So it'd be much quicker if you use course messages. I'll give a little demonstration. Just click on course messages, create a message, go right here. Tell me who you want to set, say who you choose, who you want to send it to. So just click on to. Here's a list of everybody in your class, so you can send an email to anyone you want. I'm at the bottom. You would just click on my name, toss it over here into the recipient box by just clicking the arrow to the right, and then put a subject, type in your email, push submit. That's simple. Then everything gets stamped, and I know exactly which of the 3 MAC1105 classes you're in, so we can communicate. You have a test that's coming up soon, and I will start sending out announcements in the next day or so, reminding you about how vitally important it is to show your work when taking a test, because the grade book is set up that it will automatically reduce your grade by 50%. It'll cut 50% off what you get in My Math Lab if you do not drop off your work in the Dropbox. Notice that it says Dropbox, work for tests, and the Jello assignment. So when you're going to do your work, you need to have a PDF copy to put in the Dropbox. So you can make a scanned PDF copy of all your work for the test. And by the way, what's considered acceptable work? Numbered, legible, and the problems in order. I have to be able to see all the steps you are doing. It is not acceptable to write as your work, I did it in the calculator. That's not communicating how you got the answer in any way, shape, or form. You can use your calculator to assist you, but it should not be the only thing that led to the answer. Because if the answer, let's say, involves a graph, yes, let your calculator help you do the graph. You should have a graphing calculator. And if you can't afford, a brand new one, go to eBay, go to Amazon. They sell the TI-83 Plus, the TI-84 Plus, the calculators that are mentioned on the syllabus. And you can get a used one for $20 because it's going to be very hard to get through this class and the test without a graphing calculator. Every course at this level, every math course at MAC1105 level and above requires a graphing calculator. So if you don't already have one, please get on it, because you are not learning the MAC1105 topics yet. You are still doing all the review from the previous course right now. That's what Module 1 is. You're reviewing the topics from MAT 1033. We move on to all the graph theory, which is what the rest of the class is about, once we hit Chapter 2. So get on that if you don't have a graphing calculator yet. You can get a nice used one for $20 on various different sites. Just Google used TI-83 Plus or used TI-84. Those are very similar, TI-84 Plus. And you'll find the different sites, but I find plenty of them on Amazon. So anyway, for this next test, you're gonna have to do all your work, and you're gonna have to scan your pages into a single PDF. So if you've never used your phone as a scanner, here's a little 3-minute tutorial. Very easy to use. This is a free app. And one of the rules, which I'm going to remind you of in my announcements, and again, it's in the syllabus and also in the scheduled activities. You have to send your work in and drop it off at the Dropbox within 15 minutes of taking the test. So I wouldn't wait to learn how to use a scanning app until the day of the test. And maybe many of you have already used one and don't need this. I just put it here for people who have never scanned their pages into a PDF. Once you make that PDF, I would save it somewhere where you're going to find it, because like me, I've saved things before and then I go to attach them and I can't even find where I put it. So maybe once you get that, create that PDF scan, maybe save it on your desktop, and then you're going to click on the link that says drop boxes and just pick which one you're turning in work for. They're very self-explanatory, and every single one with a reminder that of what you needed to do. So you would just click right here where it says work for the test, test number 1, and then come down here. There again, the reminders. Just you can write a submission if you want to. That would just be, you could say the title, or you don't even have to write a submission. I already know what it is. And then what you're going to do is attach the scan, the PDF scan that you created. So you would just browse your files, go to your desktop, go grab that file and submit. This is how you turn in your work for any kind of a test where the testing is online. Okay, so that'll be coming up this week. It's part of your module 2, where you're going to be taking your first test. The other links here are pretty self-explanatory. This is tech support in case you have any technical issues in my math lab, but those get reported to me right away, not only by Pearson, but also by my colleagues who are also teaching many sections of MAC1105. I did want to point out that part of your grade is the discussion forum, and you were one of the things that has already transpired, and it talks about it in the Start Here menu, is that you were supposed to post an introduction to the discussion board. So all you do is, and I can just give you some etiquette for posting. When you post an original post, which was the introduction that you were supposed to post during the first week, it should be about 100 words, proper APA format, spelling, check out those sort of things. And then you were to respond to one student. You would respond to one classmate, because the idea is we're trying to create community, where we're creating an ease of, feeling easy about talking to your classmates, talking to your teacher. And so we try to get you used to using a discussion board, because I'm taking plenty of online classes right now myself, and that is a huge part of how we function with each other, my instructor and I, as well as myself and my classmates. So you just press on discussion. One thing that you'll see common in all online classes is called Ask the Class, where you can post any kind of question and your classmates can jump in and give you some comments about how they handled it. I get most of my questions answered when I'm taking an online class in this very fashion, because the teacher has 200 students, just as I do every semester, but yet your classmates don't have that going on in their life. So usually you're going to get answers from your classmates much more quickly. And then, your teacher will always be monitoring the situation. This is the introduction that you were supposed to do the first week. I wanted to point that out and remind you, because there's only 7 out of the 20 or so students that we have that actually did that. So maybe that that went over your head when it was mentioned in the list of Start Here activities. So just a reminder for you. There are 2 other discussion posts. All of these discussion posts, the introduction, the discussion post in module 3, and the discussion post in module 8, they're all graded. So please get in there and do them. Okay, all you have to do is press here for the first one and post your introduction, and it'll have specific questions that it's asking you so that you can form your introduction. And I think that is about it. Things that I wanted to remind you. I hope this video helps you realize anything that maybe you have missed. You're doing a great job in my math lab. Over 95% of the students did every single thing in module 1 and are almost done with module 2. What you want to try and do for yourself, again, this is why your tests count for 80% of your grade. So under no circumstances should you think in your mind that doing the homework after you've taken the test is going to help you. The homework is the bare minimum preparation that you can do. If you want to have a better chance of doing well on the test, you should leave a day and a half to do nothing but the practice test over and over again. Now, it may not count for points. The homework do. The homeworks count for points. The practice test does not. But without the practice test, there's not that great of a chance of doing well on the actual test. Your practice test is your only opportunity where all the problems are all mixed up and jumbled together. So it is the closest thing you're going to get to what the real test is going to look like. So if I was you, I would do it more than once. This is something that I've used in many of my all my math classes, and try to get the homework done, again, with a day and a half to spare so that you're carving out time to do the practice tests. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and please stop by for tutoring if you're struggling with any of the material, and join our sessions, and I will be happy to help you with anything you're struggling with. Everyone have a great week, and I will be posting my next reminder soon regarding your upcoming test.